Hi girls. Today we will be starting with water transport, and we have already discussed land, railways, roadways, and airways. So this is an important topic, and every year one or two questions have been asked from water transport, especially from the ports. So please understand it. India is endowed with an extensive network of waterways. It has rivers, it has canals, it has backwaters, it has creeks, and it has a very long coastline as well. Because we are surrounded by water on three sides, so that is why India is a peninsula. So Indian waterways can be divided into two categories, inland and oceanic. A little bit of introduction. India had water transport much before independence also, and we were called as Queen of Eastern Seas because India's location in the mid of Indian Ocean gives it a very advantageous location actually because most of the ships moving from eastern part of the world to western part, for example, like a ship coming from Saudi Arabia going to China has to halt somewhere in between and India comes in between. So the route which is from Australia to Africa or Europe, India comes in between. So our location is really good. That is why we are called as Queen of Eastern Seas. Then a little bit you should also know that in 1947 India had the Shipping Act. It was enacted and as a result Indian Shipping Corporation developed and we have a large number of fleet of shipping vehicles, vessels now. There are two kind of water transport in India, inland water transport. Inland, when we say the word inland, it is inside the land. That means whatever water bodies are there on the land, like rivers, canals, backwaters and creeks, then transportation will be done mainly on that. So if we see, then we have almost 14,000 kilometer long inland transportation system in rivers. Okay, and in 1945, Central Irrigation and Power Commission was set up to develop inland transportation. Later, it was declared that we have 5,200 kilometer navigable waterways. Uh, so overall, when we talk about inland navigation, so still we will consider 14,500. This limit 14,500 as inland navigated ways. Together with creeks and all, the number has increased, but consider this only. Now you have to remember one authority here, that is Inland Waterways Authority of India. Okay, remember this. This is important. Inland Inland Waterways Authority of India, that is AWAI. Like Nahai is for making the roads, this is for controlling the inland waterways. The second transport is oceanic transport that we will discuss later. Let's discuss in what advantages of transport first. So I'll explain you about ports in detail, that is about oceanic waterways. Water transport has a lot of advantages and edge over other means of transport. Foreign trade is not possible if water transport is not there because the carrying capacity of a vessel, ship, is much bigger than train and aeroplane. So bulky material from one country to another country can be transported only through water transport. We get valuable foreign exchange from water transport. Since we have a very long coastline and we have to protect it, so it is very important for defense development also because it has strategic importance. Then it is cheap mean of transport as you don't have to lay down any road. You don't have to lay down any track. And even the ports are not very expensive to be laid down, like railway stations or airports are very expensive projects, but ports are not so. Transport of heavy goods, bulky and heavy goods can be transported easily. Useful during natural calamities. When there is a problem on the surface, then it is the water body which can be used to transport the material. Less maintenance cost. Movement of a vessel in a water body doesn't require much energy. So fuel wastage is also very less in case of running of a ship as compared to running of a train or a plane, which consumes more of fuel as compared to the ship. So remember that. Disadvantages, uh, we have a limited area. Though India has a long coastline and we are lucky, but still cities like Delhi and Chandigarh are far away from coastlines. So as a result, we need help of railways and roadways to reach the material to these inner cities. Slow speed, the speed is always slow in water transport, and turbulence is also there in the water, so that is always a problem since these are heavy vehicles, vessels, and speed is less safety. Sometimes because of turbulence in seas and oceans, there is always danger of sinking the boats. You can imagine when the most insinkable ship, Titanic, sank. So that time there was fear in most of the people to go into the water bodies through ships. So it is considered less safe because the turbulence in the water sometimes is unexpected. I'm talking about waterways, inland waterways first today. This is National Waterway number 1. Just to give you an idea, how is inland waterway like? How does it look? So a river is as huge sometimes as a ship. This length of this Ganga waterway is 1620 kilometer. It starts from Prayagraj, that is Allahabad, to Haldia. National Waterway number 1. Government is spending a lot of money on this waterway. See how the cargo is being carried. 2000 metric ton of ships can fly on this route. A 40 wagon train can also go. See how train coaches are going. Dredging is removing the silt. Dredging is removing the silt from the bed of the sea because that increases the level of the water. So dredging has been done. This desilting of the river is really important. You can imagine how much developed it is. You see, government is paying a lot of attention and spending a lot of money in developing inland waterways now. Multimodal terminal is also there in Varanasi. That means the ships can come, stand, load, unload. So a kind of a harbor or port has been made here. I'll explain you about all other inland waterways now. This was National Waterway number 1. I'll explain you more about others.